Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm pregnant. That's crazy. I wanted to do a first trimester vlog this time around with my son Elliot. I did a first trimester recap and talked about my symptoms and cravings and appointments and things like that. But I wanted to do this in a vlog style this time to just kind of document things as I go. I am currently 5 weeks and 3 days. I found out I was pregnant at 4 weeks exactly. I've known for almost a week and a half, which is just crazy. And this morning I called and scheduled my first midwife appointment, my first ultrasound, so that will be in 3 weeks. I'm really excited. I'm trying to have the mindset of just like pure excitement this time around, as hard as that is, because I have experienced a miscarriage. It is definitely hard to choose to be joyful and excited when there is such a temptation to be anxious. My son is crying. Hold on, I'll be right back. But what I was saying was, if I'm feeling anxious, just giving those anxieties to the Lord, knowing that I'm not in control anyways. All of this is the Lord's doing. He knows who He's forming in my womb, and He knows who that person's going to be, how long their days are going to be. And I just need to trust that, because I could go down so many rabbit holes of just wondering if everything's going okay, and I just want to trust. So far, I've had a lot less anxiety because I've tried to keep that mindset, and will continue to keep that mindset as we go on, but it definitely is there. I just try not to give it a foothold to really bring me down. And I think I'm a lot less anxious in a certain way because I kind of know what to expect now. The first time around was just new. I had no idea what to do, what was going to happen. And so this time around, I just feel like, okay, I've done this before. I've walked through all of this stuff. It's not going to like catch me off guard. I'll know which appointments we're doing certain things at. As far as symptoms go, my worst symptom so far has just been the fatigue. That was my worst symptom with Elliot, and the fatigue just really knocked me out with him. And I feel that happening again this time around. It's just way harder now because I actually have a toddler to take care of. I can't just like rest when I feel like I need to. In my other pregnancy, I was blessed to not get morning sickness or just get sick at all. I would love for that to happen again. So far, that is not a symptom that's even remotely come up. I've also been more out of breath. Like even as I'm talking, I feel like it's hard for me to keep and the other thing is I do get lightheaded very easily. So that's been a challenge. I've definitely needed to up my water intake, so I've been trying to do that. But yeah, I'm just so excited. I think that vlogging this whole journey is going to be really fun for me as I go and as things change and progress, just documenting it. I'm glad you're here, and if you're also in your first trimester, congratulations. We're in this together. I'm so happy for you. Let's just enjoy this journey while we can. Okay, so today I'm 7 weeks, so baby's the size of a blueberry. From my previous update, things have definitely changed a little bit, and I do have symptoms that I did not have with Elliot. I just have this general queasy feeling in my stomach. I wouldn't say nausea, but just it kind of always feels like my stomach's just a little bit upset. This stuff lasts like all day, and at night it gets really bad if I wake up in the middle of the night. Like I would say that's probably more towards nausea feeling. I haven't been craving anything. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, I don't know if you remember the timeline. Was I craving things like earlier?
The sandwiches, the breakfast sandwiches.
And I feel like that stuff happened quickly. I haven't had a single like craving. Like things have sounded better. Some things are like, oh yeah, that sounds better to me, but not like this, I have to have this right now and nothing else will suffice. I haven't had that yet. And I haven't had any like aversions, things that I'm like, oh, I don't want that at all. Other than the fact that like, I won't want food just because of how my stomach feels.
Are saltines a craving, or are they just I need to have munch on something because my mouth, like what's
that's definitely not a craving. That would just be, I have to have something to kind of like fight off like a hunger feeling, or that like my stomach feels upset, and because of the blandness of the saltines, that sounds good to my stomach, but I wouldn't say it's like a craving. It's probably nicer for Nick not having to run and do these
I don't know. I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy my
random escapades. We haven't told anybody yet. By this time, with our previous pregnancy, we had told my immediate family, but we are waiting to tell people, well, my dad in person, because he's coming in a couple weeks. So that's really exciting, because last pregnancy we didn't get to tell anyone in person because we don't have any like really close family or friends that lived in the area. So this time is going to be our first time like actually announcing to people in person, like some of our friends and my dad. So I'm very excited, looking forward to actually seeing people's reactions in the flesh. So that will be fun. That might be in this vlog later on. I feel like it's time for an update. I am 7 weeks, 4 days today. Whew, have things kind of ramped up this week? I feel like the last probably 4 days, like once I hit week 7, I think I just started kind of like going downhill. Queasiness has definitely amped up, and I've been feeling so sick. And I'm so not used to this, because with Elliot, I didn't have it at all. I had easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl first trimester in regards to that, and it was like the fatigue that knocked me out. Well, this time I have fatigue, nausea, insomnia. I get lightheaded anytime I stand up, no matter how much water I've drank. No food sounds good. The only craving I have actually had, which wasn't like a super like strong craving, but I would consider it a craving because everything else was sounding bad, was last night I really wanted like ice cream, something soothing, something cold. So I had ice water, and then Nick went and got me frozen yogurt, and that tasted really, really good. I don't know why this pregnancy is so different in regards to symptoms. Nick and I especially have thrown out, well, what if it's twins? Throwing that out there. I feel like my body maybe is working overtime right now, but I also know that every pregnancy is different. It is really hard to do anything. Just hardly can stand up, because standing up makes me feel nauseous. Part of me, like in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, people are gonna know I'm pregnant because I'm like so MIA. But then sometimes I do that. Sometimes I take like breaks from social media. So I'm hoping that people aren't on to me because I'd like to keep the secret for a few more weeks, especially before I tell my dad. Also, my cousin just announced that they're pregnant, and she is like 10 days ahead of me. They don't know. Obviously, they're not gonna know for a couple more weeks, but I'm so excited. See, this time around, I feel like I am getting so much more excited to know that people I know and love are pregnant at the same time as me. Whereas before, I think I wanted to just like experience it myself. Like I didn't really want to share the spotlight, so to speak. And now that like I've already been there, done that, this time around I'm like, I want everyone. I want all of my friends to be pregnant at the same time as me, because it's so fun. It's an exciting time to be growing a family, especially because like this is the time to grow a family, right? All of my friends are in the same season and stage of life as I am, and so there's gonna be babies all the time. I remember being in the season where like everyone was getting engaged at the same time, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, everybody's getting engaged, everyone's getting married, and now it's like people are like, oh my gosh, everyone's having babies. That's just the season of life that we're in. Once you start growing your family, that's just the season that you're in, and we're all kind of around that age and in that season. I told Nick today, I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna keep doing this, because it's definitely getting to be very challenging mentally. That was challenging for me before when I had the fatigue and I wasn't able to do like diddly squat, but I feel like it's even more challenging now because I have more responsibilities as a wife and as a mom and as a homemaker and as a YouTuber. Like I have these responsibilities that I'm just not able to keep up with mentally. That is really hard for me. Anyways, that's the update. Good morning. It's the next day. I wanted to update while I was thinking about it. Something that has been a struggle for me has been coffee. And if you know me, you know how heartbreaking that would be for me. I have not enjoyed coffee or wanted coffee hardly at all since becoming pregnant. I used to make a latte every single day being pregnant. One, lattes do not sound good at all. I wouldn't say it's an aversion, but it's just there's absolutely no desire in me. It just does not sound good. If I'm having any coffee, it's an Americano or just black French press coffee. That's it. I have about half of this small mug so that I could put my collagen in it. I haven't been wanting my lemon water as much. Dang, do I miss coffee. And I probably won't even finish this. I poured myself the most measly amount of coffee. It's literally like right there. The fatigue doesn't get helped at all since I'm not having like any caffeine. It's been rough over here. Coffee is not my friend right now, but I hope someday soon we'll be friends again. All right, so we just pulled in to the ultrasound and midwife place. I'm very, very nervous. I'm like trying to remain hopeful and excited, but there's just, you just never know. I did want to mention there was like a comment I saw someone say, Elliot's with us. I'm also hoping they can come in to the ultrasound.
I don't know why we wouldn't be able to.
Well, different places have different policies.
Hey, bud.
But I saw a comment from someone who said, I'm going to try and have the mindset of I'm having a healthy pregnancy unless proven otherwise. That's what I've been kind of focusing on, is I'm having a healthy pregnancy unless proven otherwise. It's hard to sometimes
live in the unknown as opposed to
but I'm
just
trying to like have that mentality to fight off some of the anxiety. Anyways, my heart's pounding, but I guess I'll update you guys after we get out. The update is baby is alive and well. Such a relief. There's only one. Also a relief. Part of me wondered if I think I had mentioned it earlier in an update. Part of me wondered if it was twins because of how I was feeling, but it's only one. But strong, healthy heartbeat. And taking a toddler to these appointments is not fun. So I'm glad that, well, actually,
sorry,
he was also a distraction. So next time it's going to be just obviously me.
Yep.
So that will be interesting. But taking my husband and a toddler to these appointments is kind of a disaster.
I should have done what she said, but I wanted to be there for the questions to like field some or have an idea
I
of like.
had two toddlers running around the waiting room, running around the appointment room. Anyways.
He would like take books off the shelf, leave them a complete mess. As I'm cleaning up that mess, he'd be like getting into something else and tearing it apart. And you'd be like, you aren't watching him. And I'm like, I'm
so happy to have that over with, and now it's starting to feel more real, obviously, and then we're going to start telling people soon.
Let's
which
go.
is going to be very exciting. So I'm just super thankful to have another so far healthy pregnancy. Like, praise the Lord for that. Now we have to find somewhere to eat because I'm starving.
Let's go.
Okay, I am now 10 weeks, 3 days, and boy do I have an update, okay? This past weekend, we went to Memphis. We were taking my dad to Graceland, which is something that he's wanted to do for a long time, and it was our gift to him. I think we said like an IOU trip to Graceland like 2 or 3 years ago. We also told him, and I had made up like a separate ticket. I had printed off a Graceland ticket and then pop it up on the screen, added baby's ultrasound and then their due date, things like that. He couldn't really read it. So the surprise didn't really work the way that I wanted it to. I'll insert his reaction here.
Wow.
Can you see it?
I see it. Oh, something dated October something. 2 October. I have a hard time reading it. Oh boy. Wow, and I just said you're looking so good.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
So it says, baby Chegger, I do October. And that's their picture.
That is awesome.
So anyways, it was still really fun to obviously share in person. And then we FaceTimed Nick's parents. So if I have good footage, I'll put it in here of their reaction as well.
Our pitch is that you guys should come down to Tennessee in October so that we can celebrate Monica's birthday together, and then also the birth of your second grandchild.
Baby number 2.
Wait 1 minute here.
Let's go.
Wait 1 minute here.
That was awesome. It took me half a second to go, we have a second grade. We have a second
Kendra's 10 weeks pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
That's so
Oh,
awesome. That makes me
Elliot's
happy.
gonna have a little sip.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So
That makes me happy.
Their reaction was really sweet. So it's been really nice to actually tell people in person. But boy, oh boy, I was struggling, okay? Like, here's my advice. Do not take a long road trip in the first trimester if you're dealing with nausea, because the road trip was like 5.5 hours. The first day I was feeling pretty nauseous on the way, and then we actually stopped, met up with a friend, and so it was like a really good break in between, and then we got back on the road to go to Memphis. Then on the way back, I was struggling. I don't think I had been that sick. Being in the car, I was also sitting in the back, which was not smart now that I think about it. Got home, like went straight to bed. I was just feeling so miserable. And Nick was just amazing, honestly. Like, so thankful for how he stepped up, because he unloaded everything, unpacked everything, did laundry, cleaned up, put away dishes, literally fed me and Elliot, gave Elliot a bath. Like, he did everything. My husband really stepped up. I really thought that I was getting better, because I've had a few days where my nausea wasn't even a thing. So I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm finally getting over it. And then that just like sent me way back. I feel like it comes and goes and gets better and then gets worse. But anyways, we're finally telling people. That's the exciting thing. I have an idea of how I want to tell my older brother and sister-in-law. We both love to play bananagrams. So I'm thinking of like setting something up on the table with the letters. Baby number 2 coming in October or something like that.
That mean baby number 2 coming in October. What does that mean?
that means you have a.
They are gonna have another baby. Isn't that exciting?
So I didn't read it immediately. I thought, oh, Dad didn't understand the rules.
That would be a dad thing. Yes, we're having another baby. I like doing different things for each person, so I think that that's really fun. I don't really know when I'm going to announce to social media. We took pictures yesterday. We on our way back home when I was feeling super sick. I'll pop them up on the screen. We took these pictures. I at least have them for when we do decide to announce, or I think these will probably just go on my Facebook and Instagram. I contemplating getting like professional photos done, but we just do not have the money for that. We are struggling financially right now, and then we have a baby on the way, so praying that the Lord provides for this one. I am so ready to be out of the first trimester. Okay, so I am 10 weeks, 6 days today. The update is honestly frightening to me. Let me explain. I am starting to feel like the beginnings of sciatica, and it's actually on the opposite side. So I had horrible sciatica in my pregnancy with Elliot around, I think I was around 30 weeks. And it was after our trip to San Luis Obispo. So it was like a 5-hour plane flight, like there and back. And it was like that sitting for that extended period of time really flared up the sciatica that I was already kind of dealing with. And then it got so bad that I literally could not stand. I hesitate to say this, but I feel like the pain was in some ways worse than labor, and labor was painful. So I'm really terrified that it's already starting, because I'm only like almost 11 weeks. I've had a couple instances of like long periods of time where I was sitting. Small group 2 weeks ago, I feel like was probably the beginning of it. Then we took a road trip to Memphis, like I mentioned, and that road trip was probably about 6 hours in the car sitting. And so I'm trying to stay active. I walked/ran on the treadmill this morning to try and just like make sure I'm not sitting very much, even though I'm exhausted and all I want to do is sit. But I really am trying to just like keep moving because I know that sitting is like one of the worst things that you can do for it. I'm gonna do some stretches today. Like I said, I already like worked out, y'all. Like I am actively trying to do everything I can, but I am honestly like, I need to pray about it, y'all. Like, why haven't I done this? Like, obviously I want to do stuff that my body needs, but I also need to pray because I cannot have it as bad as I had it last time because I have Elliot to take care of. I'm very nervous, but that's the newest symptom that's kind of coming on, I feel like progressively stronger over this week after the road trip. And I don't even really have a bump yet. So, a little bit of a bump, but not much. That's why I haven't been doing like bump dates because there's really nothing to show quite yet.
But we'll mention one more thing. Elliot loves his little bunny so much.
Is he partial of the dark one?
Yeah, I think he is. And so he's partial to the dark one, and we're hoping that his little brother or sister will be partial to Monica's bunny.
Whoa! Does your mom know?
Yeah.
When did she find out?
Oh, she's known for probably a week or yeah.
I'm so thrilled.
Good morning. I am 12 weeks, 3 days today. I have my second midwife appointment and I'm by myself because my dad is watching Elliot. This is the first appointment that I've ever been to by myself. I usually have Nick or Elliot with me. So I'm a little bit nervous and we'll see how it goes. It's like first trimester, you hope everything's going well, but you just never know. So I am just really anxious to hear the heartbeat and hope everything else is going well. So I'm gonna get in there and pray for peace and comfort no matter what happens, but I will update you when I'm done. Okay, I just got out. That was a very interesting appointment. We couldn't pick up the baby's heartbeat on the Doppler, and so definitely was freaking out. She tried for a while, and then she brought in one of their like older ultrasounds and then found baby right away. So I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You could see baby's heartbeat, you could see baby moving around. So it kind of turned into a little bit of a blessing because I got to see baby again on the ultrasound, which we're not planning on doing a lot of ultrasounds this time because they're kind of expensive. Anyways, I'm so glad I got to see them on the ultrasound, so, and all is well. So I'm gonna text Nick and say that all is well and just thankful to have made it this far. And little baby's doing so good and rolling around. So it was just so fun to see them again. I'm very excited, very just relieved and happy. Kind of a weird appointment, but relieved, happy, and thank you, Lord. Just thank you, Lord, for a healthy, moving, thriving little baby. All right, hi guys, I'm in the car again. I feel like I've been doing a lot of updates in the car. I am 13 weeks, 4 days today. It's very confusing. I count 13 weeks to be second trimester. Some people are 14 weeks on, but I'm middle of 13 weeks, so I count that as good either way. I've been feeling a lot better. I feel like I've had more energy. I've been way less nauseous, although this morning I was super nauseous when I was making eggs. And I think it's just the heat of the stove gets me so overheated and just sick. I'm hoping that goes away soon. This is kind of wrapping up my first trimester vlog. It's crazy that it's almost over. We've survived, I believe, the worst of at least the first trimester. We'll see what the next trimesters hold for me, but wanted to wrap up the vlog and say thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed documenting things as I went. It also helped me remember a lot of things that I was going through, because even now I've forgotten a lot of the stuff that I was feeling. So I'm glad I recorded it when I did. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.